cool it actually looks like I'm wearing a shirt this time. That's legitness. Hey guys, my name is Alexandra Loren, and if you are new here, I am a sales professional as well as a life coach. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about how I lost from my peak to my absolute lowest. It was 63 pounds, so quite a lot of weight. Sometimes I think about that and it still blows my mind. So I know a lot of these videos on how I lost all this weight tend to be really long. So I'm going to try to condense things and keep it as quick and fast paced as I can. So if you need to slow anything down, just go ahead and rewind or watch it in slower pace. And if not, let's jump into this. So growing up, I was always a pretty fit kid. I was always active in sports. I played pretty much every sport that there is. I at least tried it out just to find what I liked. Then when I got into high school, I maybe had a slight chubby period in like 5th grade. That was it. I was always a super skinny kid. Not super scrawny, but just skinny. And so then when I got into high school, again, I was always very thin between playing lacrosse almost year round. It kept me in shape, that and PE. I didn't have a ton of muscle on me. It's very hard for me to gain muscle in my upper body. My legs, thankfully, because I've just ran so much and played so many sports, have a decent amount of muscle, but I just never had upper body strength. But I was always very thin. Then my senior year rolls around and I had stopped playing lacrosse my senior year due to a knee injury. I had knee surgery and that was kind of the end of that career of mine. Because I was originally going to go off to school on the East Coast for lacrosse, my mom wanted to make sure that I did not get pregnant. So she had gotten pregnant with me in college and just wanted to make sure that we did not repeat history there, which shout out to Mom, really happy that didn't happen. This is a weird thing to talk about. Because I was going to be gone for so long and I have Kaiser, so all my stuff is in California, I didn't want to deal with having to get a new doctor over there, having to figure things out. So I knew that I would be coming home at least a couple times a year. And so my doctors and parents and I discussed and we decided that Depo-Provera was going to be the best option. You get a shot in your arm, lasts for 3 months, then you get another shot and then it lasts for 3 months. So we did that because I wouldn't have to take something every day. I wouldn't have to go to a different doctor. It was just, at the time it made sense and it sounded like a good idea. Hindsight is 2020 and boy, oh boy, was that the worst decision I ever made for my health in my entire life. So I didn't end up going to school on the East Coast because I was not playing lacrosse anymore. I was not going to get that scholarship money, and I have been very adamant from day one about not having debt, especially student loan debt. So I stayed here in California. So between not exercising like crazy every single day, going from having a standing active job to a sit down at a desk in an office type job, and then also that horrible Depo-Provera. Within about 3, maybe 4 months, I went from being about 130 all the way up to 180. So at this time, I'm 5'8" now. At this time, I think I was like 5'6", 5'6.5". So 180 on someone who doesn't have a ton of muscle mass, especially upper body wise, is a lot. It was a lot of weight. I felt it in my knee that I had surgery on. My joints were just overwhelmed. And so I stayed at this weight for a while and I had tried losing weight. I did Insanity. Unfortunately, because my hormone levels were so messed up, it took a while for me to start being able to actually even lose weight. So if you don't know anything about Depo-Provera, and if you're lucky enough to have never had to deal with this horrible, evil thing in your entire life, yes, I'll tell you how I really feel. So if you've never had to deal with it though, you won't know that it takes anywhere from 9 to, I think they said 18 months to fully get out of your system. And because I had been taking it for a significant amount of time, I had been on it for almost a year, it was really in my system. So it took some time for it to finally be out. And you could really tell it was literally right around, I think the 12th, or it was around like a year after I had stopped taking it that January hit, and it made it so much easier to start losing weight. Like I had said, About a year prior to this, I had started Insanity. I was eating so incredibly well and I barely lost any weight because my hormones were screwed up beyond belief. Anyway, a year later, I started working out again and I started losing weight. And then I stopped working out because my New Year's resolution just went away. However, I started eating lean cuisines. This is not like an advertisement for lean cuisines. I do know that they're very high in sodium. However, I was a college kid and I was too lazy, and still am a lot of the time, too lazy to actually go and make and cook food. So I joined a subreddit called 1200 is Plenty, which has a lot of different meals that are super low in calories. I downloaded MyFitnessPal, and really I just started tracking my calories. If you have an ED of any kind, please be careful and please be mindful when it comes to doing this. If you do have a pretty healthy relationship with food, I think as long as you don't go overboard, you're okay to do this. So I was tracking my calories and I noticed that the weight started to come off really quickly, especially in the beginning. I went from 180 down to 150 without doing any form of exercise. I had kind of done like biking in the beginning, like I said, but again, New Year's resolution was gone, stopped exercising. So 150 to 180 was pretty much no exercise. And that happened within maybe 3-4 months. It happened rather quickly. I had kind of plateaued around 150 and I started a new job where one of the girls there had been on keto. And I had never heard of keto before. I wasn't really into diets or like what some people would call fad diets, anything like that. So I just was completely unfamiliar with keto. But this woman, she's a woman, not a girl, she looked absolutely amazing, looked like a freaking Victoria's Secret model. Like to this day, I would still kill to look like her. She, amazing. Amazing genes, amazing work ethic, and really sticks to her meal plans. But she was on keto, and so I was like, well, if she looks like that eating bacon, I love bacon and I want to look like that. So I tried it, and I did dirty keto. I wasn't doing the clean, like eating vegetables and fish and like good lean meat. I wasn't doing that, dude. I was eating bacon. I was eating eggs. I was eating avocado. I was eating cheese. I was eating butter. Like I did dirty keto, but holy crap, did I lose a shit ton of weight. I have a sugar addiction and I'm very honest about that. I have to be very careful when it comes to sugar because I get a taste and I'm like a crack addict. I get ravenous with sugar. So for me, keto was something that actually was very sustainable until it wasn't, because I literally lost too much weight. I had started keto in maybe like September. Fast forward to February, I went from 150 in, about September, all the way down to 117 in February. My biggest thing once I really started losing weight was I really wanted ab definition. And I thought, hey dude, if I get down to 117, I better have some damn abs. I didn't. One, I carry majority of my weight in my stomach, and two, I had no muscle. Like I told you guys, I hadn't worked out, I hadn't been working out at all. I just was skin and bones at that point. So of course, if you don't have muscles developed, you're not gonna see them even when you lose a ton of weight. My whole thing was I really wanted to put muscle on. I got a lot more into fitness and working out, and for me, weightlifting completely changed my life, and I really wish that I had gotten into that earlier on in my journey, just because it would have made losing the weight a lot easier. So when you have more muscle on you, you can eat more of those calories and have it not just go and turn into fat. Muscle, of course, does work harder and need more calories to sustain itself than just fat. Again, I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a doctor, I'm just saying what worked for me. I'm a huge fan of Coach Greg. He has an MBA in a lot of this stuff, and he is great when it comes to kinesiology and working out and all of that fun stuff. So if you want to learn more in depth about that, go ahead and watch Coach Greg. He kind of shits on keto. For me, it worked. It doesn't have to be that way for everyone. The biggest thing is calories in, calories out, and finding something that's sustainable for you. For me, at the time, it was keto until I lost too much weight and had to stop doing it. But if I cut, again, I'm doing keto because my body just does really, really well on that. And then for me, finding a sustainable form of exercise, not just for looks and aesthetics, but also to feel better. For me, that happened to be lifting. I really enjoyed lifting, and for cardio, I do the Fitness Marshals dance videos. I look ridiculous while doing it, but it works for me, it's sustainable for me, it's fun for me. I think a lot of people get caught up into thinking that they have to run or they do have to lift weights or you gotta do this, that, and the other. And if you don't like that, you're not gonna stick with it. So find something that you like. For me, it was lifting and awkwardly dancing like an idiot in my gym like a goofball. But that's what was fun for me. It got me the endorphins, it got me looking good. So just find that, find whatever form of food works for you and track it. Losing weight is simple. It's very simple. It's just a math equation. It is simple thermodynamics. Of course, yes, if you eat more protein, that's harder for your body to break down than simple carbs and da 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 da. But going away from all that, in the most simple form, it's calories in, calories out. That is it. Losing weight is a very easy thing to do on paper. It is the mental battle that is the hardest part of it. So if you can just sustain the mentality, and not to say like people who don't lose weight don't want it enough, but if you can just sustain that battle within your mind and within yourself, you can absolutely lose the weight because it is a math equation. So that is how I lost all that weight. But yeah, and again, like I said, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not your doctor. I'm not a dietitian, any of that. So take everything I say with a grain of salt because this is just what worked for me. It was a very lazy college way to do it, but that just goes to show you don't have to be a master chef to lose weight. You can be a completely ordinary person and do these big, crazy, extraordinary things. And that's the main purpose of this channel, is showing you that you can be super, super ordinary, but do all of these crazy things. So I hope that maybe gave you some inspiration or just gave you some ideas or just showed you that you don't have to be this crazy, super insane fitness professional guru to lose that weight. So I hope this helped and hope it wasn't too long or drawn out. If you like this, please go ahead and leave a comment on this video or give me a thumbs up. It really, really helps the algorithm. And if you kind of like what I'm doing on this channel, feel free to subscribe. It is free. Free, no money involved. That's dope. Anyway, my name is Alexandra Loren and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.